Tobin Bell is back as John Kramer in the Saw franchise. Holy crap, let's get into this.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. We have some excellent news today. Tobin Bell will return to play John Kramer in the new Saw film. I am stupid excited for this. Before we get into all of it though, if you guys can like this video, subscribe, do all of that crap, let's just get into the horror stuff. One Take News is exclusively revealing that Tobin Bell will reprise his signature role as John Kramer as Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures prepare to go into production later this month on the next installment of the billion-dollar Saw franchise, with the new film slated for release on October 27th of next year. As I talked about in a previous Saw X update, Kevin Grudert, who directed Saw 6, which is my personal favorite in the whole franchise. I know, weird, right? To be a fan of the 6th entry in a crazy horror franchise like this. It's crazy, I know. He's going to be directing this new one, which I think is a really good choice. It's once again going to be penned by Jigsaw and Spiral scribe Josh Stolberg, and I know some people weren't hot on those movies. I really am not the biggest fan of Jigsaw, but I personally really enjoyed Spiral, flaws and all. We'll talk more about that film in a second. Commenting on the announcement, Saw franchise producers Mark Berg and Oren Coles said, "What a thrill to be reuniting with Tobin. His performance as John Kramer is part of the magic that made this franchise a phenomenon, and his character is an active part of this film. I just can't get over how cool this is. I really thought we had saw the last of John Kramer in that little scene in Jigsaw, and that kind of makes me sad that that would be the last thing we saw of him. Jigsaw is probably my least favorite film in the entire franchise. There's a lot of weird errors to it, and the twist doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering that there are flat screen televisions that would not have existed at the time, which was all the kind of what the twist was. Sorry if I just spoiled that for you. I think I made it kind of cryptic though. It's gonna be really cool to see him back in this new movie, but I do want to talk a little bit about Spiral for a second. It's really cool to see him back in this franchise, especially since a lot of fans weren't big on Spiral from last year. Spiral took the franchise in a brand new direction, introducing a new killer and a brand new kind of murder mystery sense to it. I really like the direction that Spiral took the franchise, but the twist just wasn't all that impactful to me. Max Minghella did a really good job at playing the step-in John Kramer character, and honestly, I really liked everybody's role in that entire movie. I know some people weren't big on Chris Rock in a Saw film, but I really dug it. In that same breath though, I am excited to see John Kramer come back, because I mean, I just feel like there was something missing in that last movie without having John Kramer's voice coming from Billy the Puppet, telling people the horrible shit they're about to endure. Speaking of the writer Josh Stolberg, earlier in the year he told us that this movie was going to focus on the John Kramer story once again, which had a lot of fans scratching their heads. The character of John Kramer passed away in the 3rd entry in this franchise, and almost every single entry past that kind of brought him back in flashbacks, showing all this shit he set up before he died. A lot of fans think that's a bit weird and a bit out there, but honestly at this point, we're at the 10th entry in the franchise. Fuck it. I think as long as we have new characters who are set up really well and we care when they die, I'm kind of okay with this movie doing whatever the fuck it wants. We have Tobin Bell back, we probably have Billy the Puppet back as well, and we're going to have some awesome new traps. I mean, listen, if the last 2 movies did nothing else, they at least showed us some pretty fucking awesome traps. I think both Spiral and Jigsaw have some really awesome and elaborate traps to them, even if the stories themselves are a little lackluster. A lot of fans also want to see the Hoffman story continued. We were left on a massive cliffhanger with that, so if they were to continue that in a new movie, that would also make fans very happy. For me, the actual overarching story of Saw ends with the 3rd movie, but I've always really appreciated the 6th film because of how crazy that one gets, and the traps are just undeniably the best in that film for me. Saw has already told a good story, but now it's focusing on the main attraction, which is the traps, the gore, and the crazy kills. Maybe this is kind of controversial to say, but as long as they have all of those elements to it, I'll be pretty satisfied. Once again, Tobin Bell coming back is going to add this flavor to it that the last one just didn't have. And maybe they'll try to do some kind of crazy twist again, but that obviously is not like a huge thing that is really drawing me to the Josh Stolberg Saw movies. So I kind of hope they just focus on their strengths here, which is what I just said, you know, like the gore, the kills, the traps, the good characters. That's what I hope they focus on with this new movie. I'm fine with it not having a good twist. I would rather there be no twist than a lackluster twist, personally. And how are you gonna outdo the storyline that runs through the first 3 films, which is, in my opinion, really well written and why I think there is so many entries in this franchise. At this point, I just feel like the Saw story has been thrown out the window anyways, so fuck it at this point. What do you guys think about John Kramer coming back for a brand new Saw film? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching a brand new update video on Saw X. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, if you want to support this page further, you can support me on Patreon or become a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.